Hi and hello, Eagles fans, and welcome to this presentation of TCC softball. Your Eagles coming in at 6-10 after a 3-1 appearance in their neutral tournament. They are hosting a doubleheader against the South Georgia State Hawks. They enter the game, we believe, 5-10. Issa Rowanhurst set to make her second pitching appearance of the season so far for her on the year. She's got one inning of work, 2 runs allowed on 4 hits. She will be going up against for South Georgia State Serena Elder. William Haynes alongside Max Rundy for this doubleheader, both 7-inning games. We'll bring Max on to start the game. There may be some issues with his microphone, so bear with us if you will. But, Max, a beautiful day for a couple softball games.
It really is. Nothing like a doubleheader of baseball, or softball in this case, my bad. But up here in Tallahassee, it's starting to get a little warmer, so I'm glad our booth is nice and AC'd.
Absolutely. Issa Rowanhurst throwing her final warm-up tosses. Defensively, the lineup for the Eagles today in the outfield from left to right, it goes Patry, Aponte, James. And then in the infield from third to first, Little, Ortiz, Rodriguez, Michael, with Campbell behind the plate. She will be catching Rowanhurst for her second pitching appearance of the season. It looks like we're just about ready to get underway. It will be the lefty hitting center fielder Sierra Anderson to get things started for the Hawks.
It's a nice healthy crowd already here for this doubleheader today.
In the words of Ernie Banks on this bright sunny Tallahassee afternoon, let's play two. That first pitch to Anderson is outside for ball one.
Anderson's definitely one of the better hitters on this South Georgia State team. Coming into the day, hitting .429 with a .540 on-base percentage as well.
That one to Anderson high. That will move it to 2 balls and no strikes. It will be Anderson, Soto, Ursary to get things started off in the top of the first. Again, 2 7-inning doubleheader games. Now the 2-0 offering. That one is low.
One of the underrated aspects about Anderson's season thus far for the Hawks is her ability to draw the walk. She's got 9 on the season to lead the team.
Trying to avoid a 4-pitch walk to start the game. Does there with the strike called over the plate to move it to 3-1.
You know, it's a real different feel out here calling softball instead of baseball. Almost feels a little odd to me, but I'm excited.
Tallahassee's got a couple of awesome squads on the diamond as there's a strike number 2 called. The softball team entering 6-2 on the year. They were 3-1 in their first couple of homestands against Santa Fe and Abraham Baldwin Agricultural, and then they went to Longwood and went 3-1 in that tournament as Sanderson shoots that one into left for a leadoff single.
Got a little jam there, but was able to have enough power to force it through this shallow infield.
Beat Miami-Dade 4-3 in 9 innings. They lost to the College of Central Florida 2-0, and then had a 10-3 win against the Florida State College of Jacksonville, a 7-6 win over St. John's River State. As there's one right to the pitcher. She goes to first to Michael for out number 1. Anderson moves over to second on the play.
Nothing like some fundamental softball to start off our night, or our day.
Anderson.
I hope everyone can hear me.
Looks like audio's coming in okay. Anderson moves to second on the 1-3 putout, and that brings up the first baseman, Sierra Ursary. First one to her is low for ball 1.
Ursary listed as a pitcher, but can handle the bat a little bit as well.
That 1-0 taken outside. Gloved by Campbell. Anderson stays at second. Georgia State threatening here in the early goings in this one. Rowanhurst trying to find the strike zone here as that 2-0 pitch is over the plate for strike 1.
You don't want to get rattled too early on. You don't want to start touching around the zone. You should still attack it. It's early on. Let your defense do some work, and if you give up a run, you got plenty of base or softball left to make up for it.
That 2-1 is rolled in. Gamble in front of it, and it'll go to 3-1. The Eagles to come to the plate in their half of this first inning. Aponte, Michael, and Little when we get there. But another 3-ball count to the Hawks hitter at the plate. This one to Ursery is swung on and missed. And now the second full count of this first inning for Issa Rowanhurst.
It's a great comeback pitch right there, as Ursery took a big hack at it.
The payoff pitch, and just a little bit low and outside, and that will put now a couple of runners on for Megan Lee, the DP.
Just a bit outside right there as the catcher did her best to frame it, but not quite for this home plate umpire.
Campbell's been busy behind home plate so far, blocking a couple, gloving a few outside, trying to frame some strikes. She nods encouragingly to her pitcher on the circle, Rowanhurst, as that one is secured for strike one.
Nearly the same exact pitch right there, maybe a half inch or so closer to home plate. Home plate umpire gave it to her.
Trying to get ahead in the count for really the first time in this ball game. That 0-1 offering was fanned and now quickly moves to 0-2.
Despite the inaccuracy issues so far for Issa, she's doing a great job of mixing up pitches, mixing up location, and really keeping these South Georgia State hitters on their toes.
That one bounced in on 0-2, and it's got a piece of Megan Lee, and that hit by pitch will load the bases with only one out. And now the pitcher, Serena Elder, the 5-hitter in this Hawks order, will come to the plate.
Unique thing about softball, you got a lot of two-way players.
Absolutely, we've seen that a ton. Tallahassee has their fair share of those as well. That first one to Lee is just a bit outside.
You know, as Campbell goes check in on Issa, I can't help but wonder if the lack of innings is getting to her a bit, as this is really her first or second taste at pitching this season.
Pitched an inning on February 15th against Abraham Baldwin in that 10-9 win. Was in the lineup for a February 19th game. Was in basically the lineup card, but did not end up pitching. They moved her around. So you're right, Max. Only one inning on the year, trying to get settled in still in the early goings. We've seen that on the baseball side as well. A couple of guys taking a little while to find their way. And not an easy landing spot. The bases loaded with only one out to start this game off. There's a strike called to level the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
You'd love a nice hard ground ball here. Get it to home. Keep South Georgia State off the score column, as turning 2 in softball is not nearly as easy as it is in baseball.
60 feet between the bases. That pitch high's popped up right to the pitcher, Rowanhurst, and that's good for out number 2. Runners stay where they are. So one pitcher pops it up to another. Bases loaded with 2 outs now for the right fielder, Rainey Thompson.
Interesting fact about both these squads here is both sides only roster 3 sophomores each, which is pretty surprisingly low, I would say.
Couple of really young squads going at it. That first pitch to Thompson is a strike called.
And one of those sophomores is Issa Rowanhauser.
Rowanhurst getting the start for the Eagles today. That 0-1 pitch lofted high, and it gets away from the glove of Campbell. Runner from third's going to come in. The tag is not in time. Anderson safe at home. Runners advance to second and third, and now in favor of the Hawks, it's a 1-0 ball game.
Score that a wild pitch.
Yeah, Max, that's a question I'll pose to you. Was that what do you think was the strategy there? Did the pitch get away, or were they trying something funny?
Definitely pitch got out of her hands a little late, as earlier in this inning you saw that ball come out real early and she just rolled it in there essentially. This time bit of a late release and got over catcher's head. Nothing you can really do about it as a backstop except chase it down and try and make a play at home.
Anderson scores from third on the wild pitch Ursery moves to third, Lee to second. And now with 2 outs, a chance for Thompson to drive in another 2 runs with her team already up 1-0. A 1-1 count against her as the home plate umpire dusts off home plate after the slide in by Sierra Anderson.
Definitely has to be a frustrating start for Issa.
Time called. Now back in. Here's the break-even pitch, and that one well inside. Another terrific block by Ellie Campbell to keep it in front. And that'll move the count to 2-1.
You know, I can't help but wonder if her mechanics are falling apart a little bit on her, as she's been missing all over the zone, really.
That one a bit high and outside. So you're 1 pitch away from reloading the bases if you're Issa Rowanhurst. But if you give her a pitch to hit, another 2 runs could come across to score. Here's the 3-1, and that one is missed by Thompson. Another full count here, third of its kind here in the top of the first.
And, you know, Thompson helped her out a bit right there, as that might have been ball 4.
Keeping her alive, looking for that third out. That payoff pitch tapped, grounded right to the glove of Rowanhurst, but gets away. Thompson is safe at first. Another run comes across to score. Now the game 2-0. Call that one, I suppose, an infield single for Rainey Thompson.
I was just about to pose that question to you. Tough call there as a scorekeeper, but I think you got a lean single. Tough play there by Issa.
Took a pretty high bounce off the infield dirt. Keely Bryant now. That first pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes.
And, you know, difficult spot here for TCC's coaches, as softball is usually a sport where you can let your pitcher go very long. But in today's doubleheader, you want to save arms. But if she keeps struggling like this early, might have to have a quick leash.
That first pitch called a strike. The Eagles did have a couple of complete games out of their pitchers in that tournament down in Longwood. In the first game, Kaylin James went the full way. Brittany Michael went 6 in game 2 as that one line to right, and it gets right past the glove of Allison Rodriguez. Down for another hit. Now a 3-0 ball game, an RBI single for Keely Bryant.
That right there was probably the hardest ball hit this inning. Just like I said earlier, as a pitcher, nothing more frustrating than giving up runs without giving up solid contact.
Now the number 8 hitter in the order, Felicity Murray. Or Muncie, rather. Some pretty bad handwriting on my part as there's strike 1 called.
I think a real shocking part about this for South Georgia State is on the season they're averaging just over 3 runs a game, and here they are 2 outs in, and they have already put up that number.
Yeah, you mentioned that before the game. It was not appearing that the Eagles had a tough offense coming into town, but you're right, they've already reached that mark, not even a full inning into this game. That one called a strike on the outside, and now at 1-2, Issa Rowanhurst is 1 strike away from putting this inning to bed.
Big pitch here. You're ahead of the hitter, don't want to get even, and don't want to get on a streak of losing that control.
That one, too, swung on and missed. Issa Rowanhurst got quite a bit of that in this first inning, but not before the Hawks get 3 runs across as we head to the Eagles' half of this first frame. You're watching Eagles Softball on TCCEagles.com. ready for the bottom half of this first inning. Settling in, throwing her final warm-up toss was number 2, Serena Elder. She'll face the top of this Eagles order here. It'll be the center fielder, Anishka Aponte, to get things started off, followed by Brittany Michael, and Raven Little.
This is a stacked top of the order here for TCC, as 3 of the best hitters in the lineup, right where you want them.
Aponte coming into the game with a .222 average. That first one to her drops in for strike 1. Six hits, 1 double, 1 home run, 4 runs batted in. Shows bunt, now pulls back. As that one high and inside levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, one aspect of softball that always kind of frightened me was how close they all are and how big that ball is.
Time called as Aponte steps out. That breaking ball, not enough to catch the plate, and now 2 balls and 1 strike. We've seen that kind of a looping curveball a couple of times from Elder already.
It's a good change of pace there.
The fastball there is singled into left, and the Eagles have themselves a leadoff base runner.
Just what the doctor ordered after giving up 3 runs in the top.
Now it'll be the first baseman, Brittany Michael. Michael this season batting .333, 9 hits, 3 doubles, 1 home run, 9 runs batted in. Tied for second on the team in that category. Only 1 strikeout in 27 at-bats. Runner goes, throw it on to second, and it gets away from the second baseman. Aponte thought about taking off for third, but stays right where she is, and that'll be a stolen base.
And you know, that looked like a called pitch out there by South Georgia State, but Arrington just couldn't get the throw on target as TCC with a stolen bag.
You get your leadoff hitter who's a center fielder on base to start the game down 3-0. Yeah, get her over to second base. That one drops into Brittany Michael for strike 1.
As you said before, Brittany Michael's 9 hits, I believe, is either leading the team or tied for leading the team.
That one a bit high and outside. That 2-1 a check swing, but doesn't matter as the home plate umpire calls it a strike.
You know, Michael just could not commit to swinging right there, but it was a pretty good pitch to take a hack at, I'd say.
Singled off with a fastball already as that one is put into play, and that's going to get through for another hit. Aponte moving down to third, and now Michael going for second. And how's that for a hustle play? Eagles now with 2 runners in scoring position.
I love it. Very aggressive base running to start for the Eagles, and it's paying off.
Called a single for Brittany Michael, gets to second on the throw into third. That one high and outside. Now to Raven Little.
Scary hour here for South Georgia State as the 2 best hitters in the Eagle lineup are up next.
Chance to even this game. Field umpire says no swing. On the season, Raven Little .333 as well. 7 hits. Max, 6 of those 7 are doubles.
Leads the team.
That one outside. Doesn't seem that Elder is too keen on throwing Little anything to smack for extra bases. 3 balls, no strike goes the count to the third baseman. That looping curveball taken high, and now the Eagles have loaded the bases.
And they loaded the bases for who better of a hitter than Kaylin James. On the season, she leads the Eagles with 5 home runs.
She has been nothing short of terrific. .348, 23 hits. 23 at bats, 8 hits, 1 double, 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in, leads the team. A chance to knock in probably at least a couple here with nobody out. First one to her is outside.
You know, I'm not quite used to the pace of softball, as it's much, much faster than baseball.
Kaylin James, her last time on the mound, had a complete game victory against Miami-Dade. Was also terrific at the plate. She hit 2 home runs on the Saturday doubleheader. They're going to come out to the Hawks to talk to Serena Elder. There's now a 2-0 count to one of the better hitters around at the plate, bases loaded and nobody out.
And you'd like to see if she gets a little bit of a Barry Bonds-esque treatment here. Now, I'm not saying intentionally walk her, but I certainly would not give her anything great to swing at right here. She could easily launch it over this Tallahassee fence.
The intentional walk, where you're not just sending her to first, but you're not really giving her anything to hit either. Takes a big hack at that one, and just with the tip of the bat, knocks it straight back to the backstop. Now 2-1.
You know, looking at that cut right there, I can see why she's a big power threat. She really just got an aggressive, hard swing, destined to go over the fence.
Speaking it into existence, here's the 2-1 pitch. That one is high in the air. Back goes the center fielder, Anderson, and that one's out of here. Grand salami, as for the 6th time this season, Kaylin James will touch them all. Eagles now with a 4-3 lead.
You know, Will, you and I, we always talk over at the baseball complex about how we jinx stuff into existence. This was a good jinx, we'll say.
Got the good vibes going there for Max Rundy, my broadcast partner today. What an absolute fantastic way to put the Eagles back in the driver's seat. They lead by 1, still nobody out in the bottom of this first inning, and now Cheche Ortiz, the shortstop, comes to the plate.
And you could not have a better answer. Quite literally, I mean, Grand Slam is the peak of baseball and softball.
And who else to hit it than Kaylin James? 2-0 now to Ortiz, so Serena Elder is having a rough start to this game, still looking for her first out. That one outside will move it to 3-0.
Serena Elder is pretty clearly their standalone ace out there, as she's got more than 30 innings pitched than the next closest person.
That one called a strike. So to your point, I mean, if she's not able to get deep into this ball game, not only do you have to finish this one out, but you've got another game to play after this one. So not only a chance if you're the Eagles to take a dominating lead, but really put the Hawks in a really bad spot, as there's a walk to Ortiz, and that'll put a runner back on base for the DP, Sydney Ray. Ray this season used mostly as a pitcher, but here she is, the DP, and only 8 at-bats this year. She's batting .625. 5 hits, 1 home run. That first pitch to her is called a strike.
First left-handed bat for either side thus far.
Now quickly the count, moving to 0-2 as Ray watches a couple of pitches go by her for strikes.
You know, it seems it's like a common theme here in softball. Hitters not using batting gloves.
Swing and a miss there, and good morning, good afternoon, and good night for Sydney Ray as she heads back to the dugout. The first out of this game for Serena Elder. And with 1 on and 1 out, that'll bring up the second baseman, Allison Rodriguez.
A-Rod.
Only a matter of time before we got an A-Rod out of the press box here. That first one is called a strike.
Elder's bouncing back real nice here after that walk, after that debacle of a first 4 hitters.
I would say, yeah, pretty remarkable composure after a grand slam like that, giving up a 3-0 lead, as that one is put on the ground and sneaks through the left side for a base hit. Ortiz moves down to second. And another scoring threat potentially for the catcher, Ellie Campbell.
And unlike baseball, softball pitchers must have a lot of resilience out there just because there's just not that many of them. They really stick true to their one or two arms throughout the season, and that's about it.
That pitch gets away from the catcher, Arrington. Both runners advance on the wild pitch. Ortiz down to third, Rodriguez to second. And with only one out, a chance to tack on a little bit more.
Very interesting start here in Tallahassee, Florida.
That looping breaking ball does catch a bit of the strike zone. Got that same pitch. Nice check swing to bring it to 2-1.
And when hitters are up there doing that fake bunt, they're usually up there not gonna bunt. Like, you almost always see them pull it back, but the reason is they want to shorten up their swing and make good contact.
I wonder about that sometimes because there will be situations where it's clearly not a bunt situation where it's two strikes or something like that, but you do see some of these softball players try and kind of get seeming like almost a running start into some of these swings as that one is fouled back against the screen right in front of us. Moves the count full now.
When you get in hitters count so often, hitters go up there and they take, as kids call it, daddy hacks. But really, you should just be up there trying to move runners, especially in this scenario, only one down, infield back.
That payoff pitch, the umpire rings her up, so she's down on strikes. And now with two outs, runners second and third for the number 9 hitter, Emma Patry, another lefty. Now I'll pose this question to you, Max, because I always go back and forth. When you say batting around, whether baseball or softball, do you think 9 hitters or 10 hitters coming to the plate?
It's really a personal preference, I would say, but if you hit 9 batters in one inning, you hit around, because the next inning, the same person's up. But a true hitting around in the lineup is you get to that 10th person.
So depending on what way you want to look at it, the Eagles have hit around in this first inning. Patry shoots one foul down the left side and evens the count at 1-1. And when you're trying to get eased into a ball game, if you're a pitcher, facing 9 hitters in the first inning is pretty precisely not what you're looking for. Here's the break-even pitch, and that one jammed inside, popped up right to the shortstop, Bryant. And that will finally bring this first inning to an end. A couple of long frames. 8 batters come to the plate in the top, 9 come to the plate in the bottom. When it's all said and done, Eagles with a 4-3 lead after the grand slam by Kaylin James. The lefty Piper Pruitt comes to the plate to start this second inning for South Georgia State as they complete their first turn through the order against Issa Rowenhurst. At first pitch, just off the plate.
Just like you were talking about last inning, Piper Pruitt right there utilized the little Ichiro run-up.
It is always interesting to see. shout out to Ichiro Suzuki. His influence certainly being felt on the game long after his departure. That ground ball weakly hit to Little at third. Throw to first is high, but it was Michael able to tap that foot down on the bag for out number one.
Nice stretch over there at first base to get that first out.
Quick 5-3 put out. Brings lineup back to the top, and Sierra Anderson started this game with the single. Another lefty on righty. Is that one high in the sky? Center fielder Aponte comes in, and now quickly out number two.
What a quick change of events here for Rowanhurst. Enters the bottom half down 3 runs and comes back with a 1-run lead and 2 quick outs.
Yeah, what better confidence boost after giving up a 3-0 deficit to have your team come up and hit a grand slam the very next half inning. Elizabeth Soto now at the plate. Grounded closely to the pitcher, Rowanhurst, in her first time. Although I don't really have to remind you, it was probably about 10 minutes ago in her last at-bat.
Yeah, a lot going on in that first frame.
That one called a strike. Moves it now to 1-1.
You know, you got to love the energy of a softball team. They just bring a different vibe than baseball does. Togetherness is a good word I would use.
For the first time this season, I'm seeing the train pass through the tracks out beyond center field as there's a soft liner right to the shortstop, Cheche Ortiz. So after giving up 3 runs in inning number 1, Rowanhurst gets a 1-2-3 in the second. Bottom half of the frame coming up when we return.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
And we're back. First pitch is called a strike to Anishka Ponte as we start now back at the top.
Love to carry that momentum.
Big swing and a miss.
Putting up a 4-piece in the bottom of the first and then going 1-2-3 in the top. It's got to be a great feeling for these TCC Eagles.
First 5 batters reached base as that one is going to plunk Aponte, and she'll jog on down to first. Now one hit by pitch by each team in the early goings. And now it will be Brittany Michael. She's got a single up to this point. That first one is high. Nobody out, Wolf. Nobody out.
She's actually done relatively well with it. Only 28 walks.
That one outside gloved by the catcher, Arrington. Aponte seriously thought about moving on down to second, but scampers back in.
You know, that looked like to me a delayed steal in which Aponte just kind of gave up halfway through. She might have had a chance.
That one outside again. So the top of the order threatening in back-to-back innings for the Eagles. The 3-0 offering. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Not nearly in time as Aponte has got her second stolen bag in as many innings.
What a great slide right there by Aponte. Just able to get on the outside of that bag right there, reach safely.
Does a lot of what you want as a traditional leadoff hitter, that's for sure. Now a 3-1 is lofted in and outside for ball 4 as Aponte thought about moving on down to third, as she has been an absolute menace on this base path so far. Now first and second with nobody out for Raven Little, who walked in her first time.
Funny part about this TCC team is on the season entering today, they only had 7 steals, and Aponte's made that 9 now already.
The baseball team for Tallahassee may be rubbing off on them a little bit, as they've been running wild so far this season. One nothing the pitch into Little. She's swinging away there. Pop-up stays in the infield and into the glove of the shortstop Bryant. And now one away for Kaylin James.
Just a little bit under that ball right there. But now up is the woman of the hour thus far. The grand salami in the bottom of the first.
No question about that. Eagles took a 3-0 lead going into the bottom of the first. Eagles loaded them up for the cleanup hitter, Caitlin James, and she sent all the Hawks fielders watching that softball go over the wall.
And it wasn't even destroyed. It just had a nice loft under it, and it just carried over that center field fence.
That one inside. Believe it was either a 3-0 count or a 3-1 count to James on that grand slam. That one plops in for a strike.
James up there, she's a pretty tall gal. That might have been a bit low, but nice little frame job back there.
Cut and a miss there. Beat the off speed.
Great change of pace right there. Really had her out in front and leaning.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Runners at first and second. James initially showing bunt, pulls back in, swings away for strike 3. Heads back to the dugout for the second out of the inning and brings up the shortstop Cheche Ortiz. Worked a walk following the grand slam in the first.
That right there was why I don't like those little fake bunts. Is it might shorten up your hands and get you faster to the ball, but you're just not ready to swing, I feel like.
At first one, a strike to Ortiz. Swinging away there, puts that one up in the air, run down by the center fielder Anderson, and that's good for out number 3. So in the bottom of the second, Eagles get a couple of runners on, but Elder able to retire the next 3 in a row. We're through 2 full. Eagles lead 4-3. You're watching Eagle Softball on TCCEagles.com and YouTube. Rowanhurst back out for inning number 3. Face Ursery, the first baseman, to start things off. Hacks away there and right in the dirt into the glove of the second baseman, Rodriguez, and a short sidearm over to Michael at first for out number 1.
Will, I hope you can clarify something for me, but I thought Elizabeth Soto was supposed to lead off right there.
I had her lining out to short to end the second inning. I had Pruitt, Anderson, Soto retired in the second.
Oh, you know what I did? I counted their flex player as a hitter.
That'll get you as that one into the air as well, and a run and catch. Emma Patry sticking the glove up high, and now quickly out number 2.
Great play out there. Tracked it down, efficient route, nice leap and grab. Issa's making quick work now, though. Love to see it.
Retired the last 6 Hawks hitters in a row. That one is low to Campbell. So it is the catcher, Camlin Arrington, the flex player for the Hawks. Some teams we see use the flex, some don't. They have the DP and the pitcher in the lineup as well today. That 1-0 is called a strike.
Just making quick work out there. Getting those signs and attacking the zone.
Yeah, first inning about as exciting as they come, and then since then things have really slowed down. Elder, the pitcher, misses at that one, and now quickly 1-2. Trying to contribute something with the bat here today. She's already given up 4 runs, and there's another swing and a miss for strike 3. So Issa Rowanhurst has really found her way. She's put down the last 7 in a row. We head to the Eagles side of the third when we come back. Sydney Ray, the DP, start things off in the bottom third. Swings to that pitch low and drags it along the ground right to the second baseman, Muncie. Short throw to first, and that's good for out number 1.
Right there, chasing out of the zone, down low. Just beats it straight into the dirt.
Allison Rodriguez now singled her first time, moved to second on a wild pitch. That one drops in for strike number 1.
Elder really getting comfortable out there again after that wild first.
That one missing high. She's 0 for 2 at the plate. Swing and miss to end the top of the third. Gave up 4 runs on a grand slam in the first. Put a couple of runners on to start the second, but then put down 3 in a row. And now here she is, 1 out into the third. That one rolls along the chalk down the first base line and goes foul.
You know, that right there was very aesthetically pleasing. Kicking up the chalk beautifully as it spun right down the line.
Yeah, I got a slow motion on that.
Put it on one of those satisfying posts.
A-Rod shows bunt, pulls back, takes one outside.
That was a little reminiscent of that first inning pass ball, as she's just letting go of that pitch a little late, carrying it over into the left-handed batter's box.
Yeah, not much of a consistent landing spot for that pitch at all. A little bit like a knuckleball in that way where you're not really sure where it's going to come in. That one fouled back against the screen. Bright and sunny day here in Tallahassee this afternoon. Not many clouds in the sky. We're at that point in the calendar where we're over the 80-degree threshold, where depending on where you come down is a good or bad thing. That ground ball is going to stay just fair. And a throw, a nice athletic play by the pitcher Serena Elder to run over and go get it, and a throw to first to retire Allison Rodriguez for out number 2.
You know, were you up early this morning, Will?
I was at an 8 a.m. this morning.
Did
All the
you,
fog out there.
The fog was wild.
That first one, a strike into Campbell. Yeah, I'm not too used to that where I'm from, but it was pretty nasty this morning.
It was like you couldn't see more than 10, 15 feet in front of you, if that.
Yeah, not a great time to be on the roads driving around. That one, low in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Arrington, but no runners on base. It will be Thompson, Bryant, Muncie in the top of the 4th. That one missing just a little bit high.
It seems too good to be true, but we're already over halfway done with this game.
It has.
Or
that's
almost halfway.
That's what we've been saying. After that first inning, things have really calmed down and been moving by in a hurry. That one skied high in the air and back behind the press box as it flies foul.
Sun's beaming down today, as game 2 might cool down a little bit, but it's sunscreen season again here in Florida.
Both got the sunglasses up here in the press box. One of those days. That 2-2 misses and will move the count. Now full. Elder looking to retire her 6th batter in a row. That payoff pitch missing high and inside, and a 2-out walk to put a runner back on the bases. That'll leave it for Emma Patry. Popped up to short, and her only time in that previous inning made a really nice running catch out there and left. First one to her inside.
I like that pitch, though. Just brush her off the plate a little bit as best you can.
Challenge that lefty. That one in the same spot, and now 2-0.
Now, you don't want to do it too many times in a row, otherwise we'll get an angry bench over here for TCC.
You see that across baseball, not too many of those inside pitches, as that one is rolled and stays just fair of the first baseline once again. So a lot of plays over there in this inning. The Eagles get a 2-out walk, but can't do anything with it. We're now through 3 full. Eagles lead 4-3. Rowanhurst back out for inning number 4, facing the bottom of the order, Rainey Thompson, who knocked an RBI single her first time. That first pitch misses low.
Both pitchers bouncing back very quickly after a rough first frame of the ball game today.
Interesting to see how long the Eagles want Rowanhurst to go today, as that one misses well outside. Had only one inning appearance to her name in this 2022 season. She's on the mound for inning number 4. That one fouled down the third base side.
You know, despite that lengthy first frame, I wouldn't think her pitch count's too extraordinary.
Especially the way she's been pitching of late. Retired 7 in a row, dating back to the end of the first inning. Clean second, a clean third. Looking for a dominant fourth. As that one right into the glove of the third baseman. Little, good throw to first for out number 1.
Phenomenal pick right there. Just got the glove down in the dirt.
Looked like a first baseman on that third
Exactly.
base side.
I mean, that's what they say about corner infielders. Supposed to be not irreplaceable, switchable. There's a different word for it, but
Raven Little has been a dominant hot corner. Eagles have a couple of really good third basemen, as Andrew Fernandez on the baseball side has been dominant. That one skied high, and it is Aponte in right center making the catch for out number 2.
Here we are again, quickly going through the lineup.
It is kind of amazing to see the contrast between the first inning and the rest of the game.
And, you know, like I said at the top of this call, South Georgia State does only average 3 runs a game. I think it's like 3.6. So
for Rowanhurst in her first, real start of the season, you've got a 1-run lead looking to add on to that. I mean, that's clearly going into this game. That was something they had their eyes on, trying to get her settled in to this season. That one is called a strike. Because right now you've got Sydney Ray, Brittany Michael, and we have not seen too much behind that. That one is called a strike. Kaylin James as well has pitched a handful of games. I believe she had a complete game win down in Longwood. But you can never have too many quality starters. That's one thing we know for sure. That one, too, misses low.
Felicity Muncie at the plate after striking out in the first inning.
Here's the break-even pitch with 2 outs, and that one, a check swing that made contact with the softball and fouls it back.
Just a little bit. Barely tipped the bat right there to keep her alive.
Another 2-2 pitch put on the ground. The second baseman, Rodriguez, has it. Slings to first. And a third consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Issa Rowanhurst has retired 10 South Georgia State Hawks in a row. They look to add on some insurance in the bottom half of this 4th inning.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
For the third time in 4 innings, we are back to the top of this Eagle order, and Anishka Ponte. First one drops in for a strike. She's 1 for 1, was also hit by a pitch. Both times she was able to steal second base.
Absolutely nothing more you can ask of your leadoff hitter. Get on base, steal the bag, immediately get into scoring position.
That one missing low.
Serena Elder's really doing her best to work through a little bit of a mechanical demons, as I would say. Really missing all over the place.
Yeah, it's been off and on throughout the game.
And even so, I mean, credit to her. This first inning has really been the only problem she's had. She had a bit of a stumble there in the second inning, but worked through it.
Big swing there. Fouled down the third base side. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
You can't look away for a moment in softball. They really keep it going.
The payoff pitch swung on and missed for strike 3, so Anishka Ponte retired for the first time this afternoon. And now that will leave it for Brittany Michael, who's also reached base 2 for 2.
You know, that off-speed pitch finally paid dividends right there. Got him swinging.
Found her spot with that pitch again. So if she's locking in on that, Eagles may be in for a tough stretch. They lead here in the bottom of the 4th, 4-3. But as we mentioned, would love to add some insurance for Issa Rowenhurst, who has really found her stride. But I guess the other side of that coin as well, when you've got a starter on the mound that dominant, maybe you'll be able to escape with a 1-run lead. We will see. That one put high in the air. The left fielder, Pruitt, is under it and into the glove for out number 2.
You know, we've been talking about how Elder's worked past that first inning, and one thing she's done really well today is the strikeout ball. On the season, she only averages 3.7 strikeouts per 7 innings, and she's already got 4 today, so she's ahead of pace.
Good call there. We have seen a fair amount of swing and miss in this ball game, as there's one hit well to left, and that's going to get down for extra bases. Fair off the third base line. Little goes into second standing with a 2-out double.
Make it number 7 on the year.
We called it as the team lead in doubles, and that one just fair up the left field line. Plop down right in front of the wall out there.
Love to see an insurance home run right here.
And now comes up the second Eagle with an extra base hit. That was the grand slam in the first from Caitlin James. So you're right. That insurance run at second in scoring position. Little with some speed as well, but with the power we know Caitlin James has. May not even need it. That one in there for strike 2.
That was a great pitch right there. I really am a fan of her off speed, as right there, James just not ready for it. Was frozen by it.
Yeah, she worked a 3-ball count in her first at-bat, and since then has kind of been waiting, as she does not wait there and offers at that 0-2 pitch, swinging out of offering high the zone. So the Eagles get a 2-out double in Raven Little, but Caitlin James strikes out to leave her there. Now through 4, Eagles still holding on to that 4-3 lead. Top of the fifth here. TCC still clinging on to that one-run lead. The 9-hitter Piper Pruitt slaps one foul.
She's back at it with that running start, as I feel most lefties in softball do that, but TCC's lefty does not.
She pushed it to the third baseman Little in her first time for out number 1. So an opposite field hitter, it appears. That one is called strike 2.
Beautiful outside pitch, and when you have someone getting this running start, that outside pitch is where you should be living, as they're going to be running away from the ball thinking, oh, that's way off the plate, and it's just catching the outside part.
That 0-2 pitch grounded right to the shortstop, Ortiz. Strong throw over to first in time for out number 1. And now the lineup turns back over to the top in the third time for this game. Sierra Anderson, who is 1 for 2, now at the plate once again on that left side. First one missing low.
Like we said at the top of this broadcast, Sierra Anderson's definitely one of the Hawks' better hitters. She's one of 3 Hawks to have a home run on the season.
That one drops in, evening the count at 1-1. That one right to the shortstop, Ortiz again, and a nice play to get it over to first. So a couple of 6-3 putouts, 2 outs, base is empty, and that'll leave it for Elizabeth Soto, who's 0 for 2.
You know, defense really playing a big part in this game for TCC. As entering today, they only had 9 errors on the season, compared to South Georgia State's 27. Granted, there is a lot of game difference right there.
That one low, blocked in the dirt by Campbell. Yeah, depending on where you're looking, I have South Georgia State at 5 and 10. You said another might have had them at, what did you say, 4 and 9. So
yeah.
I'll take the 5 and 10, but about the same. Eagles at 6 and 2. So you're right, there is some disparity in experience in this 2022 season, as that one gets right through the right side. The right fielder James threw into first, but nothing doing, as that's a 2-out single for Elizabeth Soto, and that retires that excellent batter's retired streak that Issa Rowanhurst had going.
That single just out of the stretched out glove of Rodriguez. She put her full effort into that ball.
Rowanhurst had sat down 12 consecutive Hawks, and South Georgia State now gets the tying run on base. 0-1 the count to Sierra Ursery. 0 for 1 with a walk. Ended up coming to score in that first inning.
You know, Ursery's another one of the fellow Hawks with a long ball in this season.
That one put on the left side. Raven Little gathers it and throws over to first for the final out of this inning. So it's almost like the single never happened. Rowanhurst went back to her ways of getting those quick outs. And so the Eagles are just 6 outs away from the first victory of this doubleheader. You're watching Eagles Softball on tcceagles.com and YouTube.
Yeah.
J.J. Ortiz, who is busy in the top half of this frame on defense, comes to the plate to start the bottom of this fifth.
Enough cannot be said about her play at short tonight, as she's made a lot of nice plays.
Left side of the infield has done a lot of great things. That one high in the air and into the running glove of Sierra Anderson for out number one.
Great running stab right there, as South Georgia State got to flash the leather a little bit of their own.
Absolutely. After all that offense, we've been seeing kind of a defensive clinic here at the softball complex here at TCC on this Friday afternoon. Sydney Ray fans and misses at that first offering to make it 0-1.
There it is again. I mean, that pitch only resembles of a nice looping curve.
That one is going to get out of play, foul down the left side. Yeah, we talked about earlier, I mentioned it kind of had some knuckleball action where it was just kind of dipping and diving every which way at the start of the game. But when Elder has found the handle on it, it really goes right down the middle and just plops in the zone every time for a strike. And these Eagle hitters just aren't. All they're able to do is just watch it go by.
They're just not ready for, I mean, in such a short distance, they're not ready for that massive change of pace.
And that one skied high to right. The right fielder Thompson is going to watch it fly out. Sydney Ray goes yard, and there's that insurance run you're looking for. The score now 5-3.
You know, I couldn't quite gauge right there if that was the looping off speed, but if it was, it was hung. It really did not move much, and as my coaches used to call it, cement mixer.
Absolutely. That looked like a home run derby type of swing right there for Sydney Ray. That is her second home run of the year, third run batted in. She came into the game with a .625 average and 8 at-bats, primarily used as a starting pitcher, but showed she is as good of a two-way player as they come. The Eagles have a couple of dynamos in the lineup today in that regard. That one by Rodriguez, tap just foul.
And, you know, just before that pitch, I was thinking about throwing it over to you about how you have this designated player, and she's 0 for 2 on the day before then. You'd expect more, but now I expect nothing more.
Exactly, and both of your starting pitchers, primarily in Sydney Ray and Kaylin James, both hitting today, and both have hit home runs. So, I mean, two players that really do a whole heck of a lot for this ball club and making their presence felt here on this Friday afternoon. That 0-2 reached over and fouled away once again.
As we mentioned earlier, I think regardless of what happens outside of a major pitfall, I really believe Elder will go the rest of this game. The Eagles, or the Hawks, just truly don't have that many other arms that they can just use throughout this doubleheader.
That one shot, but just foul down the third base side. That one would have been good for extra bases had it been about a foot to the right.
You know, I just noticed it's a real difficult read down that left field line once he gets to the outfield. The chalk's real strong in the infield, but outfield-wise.
That one put on the ground. The pitcher has it. Kind of an awkward play to throw over to first, but has got it in time for out number 2. Second time in a row Rodriguez has grounded out to the pitcher.
Bit of an athletic play there from the pitcher.
It was. I mean, Elder was in a tough spot. You saw her kind of, whether she lost grip with the cleat or what, but kind of moving away from the first base bag, but still able to get the throw to beat the speedy Rodriguez. You see that brace on that right knee. And you mentioned she's, I mean, has really carried the load as far as innings is concerned for this Hawks team. So a workhorse, no question. That one does catch the zone. I think the umpire has gotten so used to calling that pitch for a strike that one might have just been out of habit.
You know, I honestly wouldn't even be all that surprised if she has a handle on the mound in the second game too.
You know, I wouldn't put it out of question the way things tend to go. I mean, if you're telling me that she has really just found this groove, I mean, outside of that home run, she's been pretty dynamic. That one bounced in the dirt and away from the catcher, Arrington.
To the common listener, they might hear that sentence I just said and be like, what? How? Why would they ever do that? I mean, I'm breaking down the three pitchers for South Georgia State right now. Elder coming into today, 58 and 2/3. Next closest, Sierra Ursery with 28 and a third. And then it's Keely Bryant with 5 innings.
And those two are in the line of hitting today, so I mean, that's certainly you would think that Elder has got to finish out this game at least, and that's amazing for a team already 15 games into the year, only having 3 pitchers appear, one of them only pitching 5 innings, as you said. Yeah, they're pretty reliant on just a couple of players. At payoff pitch is a called strike number 3, but it was a bases empty home run for the DP Sidney Ray to advance the lead to 2. It's now 5-3. Eagles with 6 outs left to get. Rowanhurst will be back on the mound when we come back. Top of the 6th here, Megan Lee, the DP, to get things started off for Issa Rowanhurst, who's back on the mound. Lee 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. We saw just to our right some fans in the crowd turning around, and Max, I think one of those foul balls might have nicked something out there in the parking lot.
Yeah, as our Jack over here found out, a windshield has been shattered by a softball. Pretty rare occurrence.
That's the kind of comprehensive report, not just of the game, but of the surroundings here, really bringing you into the ballpark here on TCCEagles.com. You can also watch us on YouTube, of course. That one skied high and just past the glove of the left fielder, Patry. That one would have been SportsCenter top 10 worthy. Instead, it's a leadoff single for Megan Lee.
And you said it best, my friend. That would have been SportsCenter top 10 worthy, as she really went full Superman, full extension, and was only a couple inches away.
That's exactly right. We've already seen one pretty nifty play out there and left by her. I mean, this outfield all the way across is pretty dynamic, as Aponte makes all kinds of plays out there in center as well. Get the tying run to the plate, but that one popped high. A couple of Eagles converge, but it ultimately will be the first baseman, Michael, to glove out number 1.
Look, slightly awkward play right there. She might have lost it for a second, but with that big first base mitt, she was able to corral it.
Allison Rodriguez came over there as well to make sure that that ball was going to be caught for an out. Rainey Thompson now, who's 1 for 2, puts that one in the air, the same spot in left center, but that one a bit higher and not driven as quickly, and the center fielder, Anishka Aponte, is able to get under it quickly for out number 2.
Aponte showing real command and knowledge out there in the outfield. She just read that ball perfectly and made an easy play out of something that could have been a lot harder.
Yeah, when you're talking about kind of the commanders of the defense, you got Aponte out there in center and Ortiz at the shortstop position in the infield. 2 players that, as you said, really kind of command their position. At first one to Bryant is called a strike.
And those 2 positions right there, outside of maybe catcher, are the ones you want commanding your defenses, typically regarded as the most athletic, most captain-esque positions in the field.
We've seen some really nice defensive plays as that one fouled over top of the press box and hopefully not into the windshield of another car.
as we got lots of fans turning around and checking.
One of those funny moments you could only find at a ballpark. That one outside, gloved nicely by Campbell.
And I've spent almost my whole life around baseball stadiums, and I've seen some complexes with some just terrible parking lot locations. And of course, it's here where there's literally only one parking spot, and it finds the car.
That one low in the dirt. Campbell drops to the knees to keep that one in front. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the 6th. Lee, who hit the leadoff single, is standing at first. The hitter, Brian, at the plate representing the tying run. Eagles with 4 outs left to get. Can they bring it down to 3? Grounded right to the pitcher, Rowenhurst. Yes, they can. Quick throw over to first to retire the side. So, as I said, Eagles with 3 outs left to get to capture this first game of this doubleheader victory. But first, they'll have a chance at the bottom half of the 6th to add on some insurance.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
Emma Patry steps in to start the bottom of this 6th inning. That one almost hitting her. We saw a few pitches from Elder Brush inside against Patry her last time at the plate. She is today 0 for 2.